Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of May I Scraplift You. I am inspired today by Helen Ding, and the layout that I have chosen of hers is one that she did for Hey Little Magpie. And I just think it's really pretty. I like the way that it's off to the sides. And so I'm doing the same thing, but I am going to rotate it so that my photos are up and down because the orientation of my photos is different than hers. So this makes more sense for my layout. I thought I would start with that cartography paper from 49 and Market's Beached collection, but I'm going to switch out the paper for a different 49 and Market piece of paper, one from the Sunburst collection. I think it's Sunburst. And I'm going to go with something a little bit brighter, but I am playing with a bunch of the layers from the Sunburst collection. I'm also going to pull out the embellishment cluster kit for Sunburst. And the little strip of paper that I have up at the top that's orange and pink, that is from my stash. I don't even know what collection it's from at this point, so that is not from any particular collection that I have kitted up. It was just in my stash and matched, and so I pulled it out. I think I just had a partial piece of it in my scraps, actually. So here's the cluster kit that I've pulled out. You can see on the right hand side there what the clusters look like. I know I have some paper. Some of the ephemera is kind of over top of the packaging there, but you can kind of get an idea of what I am looking at. And so I end up doing the cluster that is the one that is most covered up, because that's the way I am, right? Got to cover up the one you're going to work on. I thought I was going to do that top one at first, and then I decided to switch over to the pineapple one. And I think I'm going to show it on screen a little bit better here. But now you can see it. It's totally uncovered. And I'm going to use that right next to this bottom photo of MK and I. We are at the CocoCay Island, which is a Royal Caribbean property. And in the top photos, it has her hand out, and above her hand it says perfect day. And then on the right hand photo, I have my hand up, and it's a little bit too high. I wish the photographer would have told me it was a little bit too high, the angle that he was at, but it says CocoCay. So yeah, could have been a little bit better, but that's okay. These are photos that were taken by the Royal Caribbean staff, and so it is what it is, right? And then that bottom one is just the two of us again, with the CocoCay sign behind us. I wanted to go ahead and make sure I use these photos because they are the photos that were taken by the cruise. And you know, we paid for that package, and if they're good photos, I definitely want to get them in my album. I also have this wood veneer that I'm using. This is from MK. She made these specific to our trip, and if you were in the class on the trip, you could purchase these at an additional price. Our album that we made was themed for a tropical vacation, but you didn't necessarily have to use it for this particular trip, so we didn't include pieces that were specific to the trip. A lot of our stuff definitely gave a nod to the tropical vibe, because we had like flippers and a beach umbrella and snorkel and mask and all that kind of stuff in there, but we didn't have anything that was specific to the ports. So we did these as an add-on that they could, the class members could purchase if they wanted. They could order them, and we brought them with us so that they would be hand delivered. So that was kind of cool. The wood veneer is just like a 1/16 of an inch thick. I was going to say an 18th, but it's a 1/16 of an inch thick, and it is adhesive backed. It does have a little protective masking on the top so that you can, the wood is protected from the laser when it cuts it and etches it and scores it, so it doesn't burn the top of the wood. So you just peel that off, and it gives you a really nice clean wood veneer piece. So I really like that, and I know I covered up some of that hot air balloon. That's okay. We didn't go up in the hot air balloon. They do have a big hot air balloon thing that you can go on that island, but we didn't do that. but I definitely wanted to use this piece nonetheless. I just really liked it. So I have switched out my papers. I'm taking the branding strip off, but I'm putting the branding strip right back on, just over top of the bottom of the paper, and I really like that. I thought this paper was just perfect because it's got the blue and pink. It's got the blue up at the top. It's also got the yellow at the bottom, which is very similar to what our photos have. And I've got some pink on, so I thought it's just perfect. So I'm using it. So I've got that bottom cluster built. Now my top cluster I am doing, I would say I'm not really following along with the cluster kit anymore. I just kind of am doing my own thing and pulling out some pieces that might be from the cluster kit, like the white little banner flag there is definitely from the cluster kit, but I don't end up using that. I'm going to pull out one from the the ephemera bits, and it's going to be a blue flag that says beach day. Sorry guys, my allergies are really bothering me. And so I'm going to pull that out instead of the white one and use it. And then I am pulling out varying pieces. You can see I've got a whole pile here now, and just kind of playing with them, definitely layering some things up. I really like the way that this is coming together. I'm pulling in the blue layers from the top to the bottom and vice versa. Definitely going to add some of those yellow and pink plumeria, which are in that cluster at the bottom. I'm going to add a couple of those to the top, and then I'm going to add some tags and labels to the right hand side of my top right photo. And I'm trying to figure out what I want the banner flags to end on. That's why I'm working on gluing this down. That's the way my mind works. I just got to set it there, leave it there. There was a pre-made cluster with a blue butterfly I put up there, but it's covering up most of me. So I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but I let it live there while I assembled other things. And then I decided I wasn't going to use it. I'm going to come up with something else, and we'll see what I come up with here shortly. I did cut those little tags off of those tickets. I'll use them somewhere else in my album or on a different layout. And I'm going to go ahead and start committing to things and gluing things down. I do know I also want to bring in a little bit of black to each one of the clusters, because that bottom one definitely has some black going on there with the word sweet, and that little phrase sticker has black going on. Also, my photos at the top I'm going to have slightly cut off, because she's got hers slightly cut off, and plus that's going to give me the extra room for those tags on the right hand side of the photos. If I hadn't done that, my little tags would not show. My photos are not truly 4x6 because I print on my selfie printer, which is slightly smaller than a 4x6, and I print with a border, which makes them even a little bit smaller than that. So that's how I'm able to get these two photos up here with the little tabs sticking out on the right hand side, because they're not true 4x6. If they were, they'd take up the whole area. So I'm really liking how this is coming out so far. I'm still trying to figure out what that cluster is going to be at the end of that banner flag, and as I'm looking through things, I'm going to find a keep saying banner flag, but it's a bunting. I'm going to find the blue bunting and use that instead. At least I think that's what they call it. I don't know if the shape of the flags have anything to do with what it's called. I have no clue. So I guess those are really pennants on a string. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you think that's called. I'm curious to know. So I am building my own little cluster here. I'm using a starfish, a leaf. I am actually going to put a couple of actual shells that I picked up from the beach at CocoCay. So that is what I am placing right now, is the actual shells. And I'll put one in each of the embellishment areas. I will use a little bit of hot glue to adhere those on, because that's really the easiest way to adhere those. Here's where I've pulled out the blue bunting. I think it pops just a little bit more than the white one, and it is slightly smaller. So it says the same thing, but it's, I don't know, maybe about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch shorter. And that just seemed to work better for me. So that's what I decided to go with. And I'm liking how that's coming together. It's not covering up quite as much of me as that pre-made cluster with the butterfly was, and it's adding some dimension. I didn't want to also have a bunch of dimension at the bottom with the wood veneer and the chipboard pieces and not have any dimension up here by using a pre-made cluster, which is essentially flat. And if you don't like a lot of dimension in your albums, that's totally okay. That's, you know, it's a personal preference. I like some layouts with a lot of dimension and some that don't have quite as much. So at the end of the day, it's just whatever looks right on the layout for me. I don't think everything has to have dimension, but I do like it. So there you have it. So I did add a couple of these black fishnet type die cuts to my clusters up here, and I think those really help things to pop, and that black just really does so much for those clusters, and I'm pretty happy with the way that that looks. I do actually have a die that cuts something very similar to that, so I may actually pull that out so that I can use it on other layouts in this album. While I go ahead and glue down my little pennant bunting banner flag type deal thing here, I am adding a little bit of foam tape to it just to give it a little bit of added support. And while I do that, don't forget to check out what MK is doing over on her channel today. She has been working on cruise layouts all month long with me, and there's a link down below for the playlist for May I Scraplift You, and you can go see what everyone else is doing to scraplift Helen, or they could have chosen someone else today. But Helen was the person that Crystal over at Pineapple Papers, who is the creator of May I Scraplift You, that's who she chose for today, and I am just following along with her list for the most part. So also, if you are interested in doing a cruise with us, we have another one coming up in February of 2025. There's a link down below, so if you want more information on that, you can check that out. It is going to the Western Caribbean, which is going to be so much fun. We are going to go see some ruins in Puerto Costa Maya. I think I got the name right this time, you guys. I'm really terrible at the name for that, but I think that's where we're going. And then we're going to hit Cozumel, Mexico, and we are also going to Roatan, Honduras. So if you're interested in that, check out that link down below. It is all through Cruise and Crop, so you would need to work with them to book it if that's something that is of interest to you. Okay, that is it, you guys. My layout is finished. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. If you enjoyed this one, I would love for you to hit that thumbs up button, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you don't mind, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you so much for choosing my channel to watch today. I really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate all of the time you guys put into watching and leaving comments and all of that good stuff. So come back again tomorrow. I'll be back with another video, and again, don't forget to go see what MK is doing. I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.